Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Ktalk. We're your hosts, Mel.
And Uma. Today we're talking Your Honor, an intense crime thriller about a judge trying to cover up his son's hit and run accident and a criminal boss chasing down his son's killer. All hell breaks loose as both dads are trying to do the most and turn into absolute monsters to protect their children. What do you think, Mel?
To be honest, although I don't usually watch this genre, I must say it was 10/10. I absolutely loved it. Loved the cast. They acted their asses off. Loved it. What about you?
It was gripping from the get-go. Like, there was not a single boring episode for me. It started off super intense and ended like all the way through. Like there was I have no notes. Like, it was just, it's so good. And I love crime thrillers. Like, I don't just watch like one particular drama, but or genre, but yeah, it was, I loved it.
My thing was from the beginning, was I the only one that was thinking, why did they just trace the call back?
Like, you mean like the 911 call?
Yeah.
As soon as the accident happened?
Yeah, and to figure out who it was.
You're right. He did spend a lot of time while he was having that little asthma attack.
Yeah. So I was like, they could have just traced the call and figured it out.
Yeah, and then the show would have been over in like 2.5 seconds.
I guess,
I guess
but
they had to do it for the plot.
I mean,
I don't know.
yeah, I don't know, but that's what came to mind when I seen that. But getting right into it, it's been interesting to watch, actually, Judge Song go from this honorable, respected judge to this stone cold killer / conniving person, you know? I think it all started when he got Sang-tae to steal the car and make it look like someone stole it.
Yeah, like it wasn't his son who got into that accident, right? Like, I think when he went to go take him into the police station and then realizing that whose son got killed in the hit and run,
Yeah.
put him into overdrive. And he worked so quickly to reach out to everybody that he knows to get Sang-tae,
Yeah.
whatever that little gang he's from, to grab, like, steal the car from their driveway. Basically, like, he just went into overdrive, honestly, to just like deal with this matter.
Yeah, I feel like all of this really started really early on. As soon as he figured out it was Chairman Kim's son, he freaked out. And he felt like by any means necessary, I have to cover this up and protect my son.
No, for real. He was like, there's no way. Like, even if he got punished by the law, he realized, like, he's going to kill his son.
Yeah. And with that whole setting up Sang-tae, it eventually led to the killing of his mother and daughter. So if you think about it, Judge Song played a big role in that happening.
Him
well.
and the mother. Because the mother also wanted to, like, avenge her son. And she was like, oh, okay. The police are saying, like, this guy stole the car, hit my kid with it. I'm going to go. And now he's on the run.
Yeah.
So she was like, I'm going to blow up his house. And I just felt so bad that the grandma and the little girl died. And
I know. And it was even sadder because that little girl was, came to his office with the grandmother. They had tea and snacks. And it was just, yeah.
And she was so grateful to him because he helped her out with that previous case for her daughter.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was all very heartbreaking.
That was very heartbreaking. And I feel like ever since that moment, it was just been a series of just terrible things, to be honest. Like, it didn't stop.
It really was. And then I was like, did you see how quickly the chairman was, like, let out of jail? Like, he was about to come out, but they moved up his release date from prison. And how he hit the ground running, and he was like, who did this to my son? Like, he was working faster than the police.
Yeah. It was crazy. But then also, after the explosion, I feel like when he killed T-Rab is when I was like, okay, he's really deep into this now. And it's like, to what lengths is he willing to go to protect his son?
He's going all the way. He killed that
very
little
extreme.
kid so quickly. He didn't hesitate. He was like, this is what I got to do for you to believe me, to understand, like, because at that point, the judge was pretending to be the culprit. Like, he was saying, I was the one that did the hit and run. So he was going to do everything to convince the chairman that, like, I'm on your side and you're going to get a non-guilty verdict.
Yeah. But yeah, it was crazy to see that. But yeah, but I knew also that Ho Young was going to be a problem.
Who was Ho Young again?
His son.
The elder one.
No, Ho Young is Judge Song's son.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the hot one. The chairman's like hot son.
Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, he's a hottie until he wasn't. Let's talk about that for a second. I felt like I lost all attraction when his dad literally beat him down.
Oh, the
I
facts?
was like, you are no longer hot, sir. Like, I lost all attraction.
Oh, no. You're like, your daddy's beating you at your big old age?
Yeah, and he was just taking it. I'm like, if you don't get up and fight your father,
was
sir.
doing too much.
Yeah.
He was doing too much.
He was doing too much. And I feel like it was also, it was a cry for help and attention. Because remember, he is a son from a previous marriage. And I felt like ever since he remarried and you know what I mean, he kind of felt like the stepson, like the adoptive son.
Is that why you think he's acting out?
Because I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he is a sociopath. Like,
no, 100%. But I think he was also so quick to use his brother's accident as a way to get his dad back into the criminal aspect. Like, remember how his dad's trying to be like respectable now and just a chairman of a company and doesn't want to be in the underworld anymore. I think that the sociopath son, like the older one, I think he likes being in that. He doesn't care to be like a real, like a respectable, like stable family. He doesn't want that. I think he likes controlling the underworld. He likes that lifestyle. Yeah.
And I also think that the more, because remember that scene where his dad walks in and it's a room full of all these men that he killed. And he said, these men were talking shit
about you. And he just thought it was easy.
And he thought he was going to get brownie points from his dad.
And his dad's like, come on, man. We're trying to like leave this world behind. And
so I do believe he is a sociopath. And also he wants his dad's love and approval at the end of the day. I really do think it's about that as well, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
Because I do feel like he does treat his younger siblings different.
He did.
Yeah. I think he was much more softer and kinder with them. And I don't think he's ever gotten that. So part of him kind of resents him.
Yes, and him and the stepmom hate each other.
Yeah.
Hate each other. Because remember, like, after they found out the kid died, he came back, right? Like, they shipped his ass to the States, and then he came back for the funeral. And then she was like, I know you're happy. Like, I know you had something to do with this. Like, like, she hated him.
Yeah, because I think she felt that this guy resents me and my children.
Because his mom died.
Yeah.
That's very sad.
Yeah. But like I said, going back to who I knew he was going to be a problem and I cannot stand him, was Ho Young.
Yes,
because before we found out everything of how it ends and whatever, that scene where his dad came to him and he said, hey, I think you should go to the States and see your uncle for a couple of months while I clean up your mess. And he threw a complete tantrum. And I'm thinking, little boy, your dad is literally fighting for his life.
For your survival.
Fighting for his life. And also this man has not slept in 5 weeks. Literally sleep deprivation going on. And you're throwing a tantrum?
Doing the absolute most. Getting rid of like all the CCTVs, like tracking like all the steps that he took, like really making sure that there's no evidence to connect his child to the hit and run. And the entire time that was happening, he was annoying me too, because I was like, every day you saw him waking up and putting on his little backpack and I'm like, are you even going to school? Like, what's happening? And he just seems so like unbothered by the whole situation. I'm like, do you know what your dad is going through? Oh my God,
that's what I was thinking too.
And he's just staring at him. And at what point I'm like, is he like mentally ill?
Yeah, because I'm like, his dad is literally going insane. And it's like, he doesn't ever go to him like, hey, Dad, are you okay?
He wasn't.
How's everything going? Like, there was no concern at all. Like,
there was no appreciation.
There was nothing.
He wasn't grateful at all. I mean, we find out later why.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, I was very annoyed. I'm like, you don't look too happy that your dad's trying to help you out here.
Yeah. And he asked you for one thing.
And one
go
thing
to
only.
the U.S. And I feel like I wish Judge Song really pushed him to go. Yeah. But then again, if he did,
none of it would all go down.
Yeah. But yeah, he's very ungrateful. And I knew from that moment that he was.
Right. Let's see. The chairman. There was something I wanted to tell you about the chairman. Just his aura in general. Can we talk about that for a second? That man barely spoke.
Yeah.
but was so powerful. And did his face look different to you from when he was silent and like quietly fuming to when he would speak?
Yes, you knew when he was quietly fuming, there's just this look on his face that he gets, like, I'm gonna murder your entire family.
And his
like,
face like kind of almost goes flat,
Yeah.
like no features. But then when he talks and you're like, I could tell you used to be very handsome when you were younger.
Yeah. Oh no, he's a good looking older man.
He is a good looking older man, right? And I was
Yeah.
like, that part where he was so vulnerable with his daughter when she was like, he was like, why can't you look me in the eye? And then she
Yeah.
was like, because you're so sad. He thought it's because she was scared of her dad.
Yeah.
But she was like, no, it's just because you're so sad. And he's like, well, dad's in a lot of pain right now, but that doesn't like mean that you can't lean on me. Like,
Yeah.
yes,
And
he's
yeah,
a monster,
and
but
because although he's a killer, he was an amazing dad. I'll give him that.
Right?
He was
It
very
kinda made him
soft
human
and
a little bit.
kind to his children. You know, clearly the boy that died adored him as well.
he really did.
You know what I mean? And they had a close relationship. So, I mean, he wasn't all bad.
And
you know?
until like up until like the halfway point before we find out that the judge's son kind of planned this from the get-go,
Yeah.
when you saw that that montage of how he set it up with T-Rab and the brown kid
Yeah.
that got shot, and how you see it. Do you remember that scene where the son who died, the chairman's son, was saying, oh yeah, my brother is so cool, he even killed like a judge's wife?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
The minute I saw that, I was like, I have no sympathy for you anymore.
Speaking of that,
I was like, you're trash.
I'm still confused on how the mother was connected to Sang Yuk. Because at first it said she had a drug problem, right? And then I guess she was getting drugs from him, and then
First she was
and then he
volunteering.
raped her during that. But I didn't get how the mom was even connected to begin with. Like, how did they know each other? How did they, you know?
Yeah, like how did she even get into that world?
Yeah.
My thing was, I think she was volunteering. I think we were told that part. She was volunteering probably in one of those like bad neighborhoods, and somehow got mixed up in drugs there. And this guy took advantage. And then
Yeah.
ended up raping her?
Because he was supplying her the drugs.
Yeah.
And then we know after.
But was she a junkie? Like, I can't figure out if she was doing drugs or he forced her to do drugs so he could rape her.
That's what I'm saying. Or was she depressed?
And is that
Then
the drugs that they're talking about?
And then turned to drugs,
very
and
confused.
and I thought they were going to clear that up as we went along, because there were still
They
some holes
cleared
in that
nothing
story.
up. They cleared
Yeah,
nothing up. I thought that when the chairman went to go visit his son in prison just before he was let out, and he was like, do you know so-and-so?
yeah,
Did you assault this woman? They kind of had a flashback scene, but it never really completed.
yeah.
I thought he was fine. The son was gonna, the sociopath was literally gonna come out and be like, yeah, so what? I did it. But that's whole
Can we
storyline
also
is
say
very
what I
murky.
like? That the chairman was actually disgusted when he heard that.
He was beyond
So
disgusted with
disgusted.
his son.
And
The
it was
entire
like-
time he was disgusted with him.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end. Like, he was just like,
Yeah, so we know
he
that.
almost wanted to kill him himself.
Yeah, so we know that the grape is what led her. A month later, she committed suicide.
Did you just say grape?
So, rape. TikTok language. But yeah,
I can't wait. Excuse
but
me.
yeah, after the rape, a month later, she committed suicide because of the rape.
I know.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was just confused of how their just worlds collided and how they knew each other, and but
The whole thing was unfortunate, but
it really was. But another scene that I really was really good was when Chairman Kim invites Ho Young to the house, and he figures out when he has his asthma attack that it was him. That look on his face. Can I also say, Chairman Kim showed a lot of restraint, because he
really
could have
did.
literally killed him right there at that table.
his mind, I'm telling you, he's like a little detective from the minute he was released from prison.
Yeah.
He was ready. He was so ready.
Yeah.
And he was figuring things out really quickly. And I really thought he was going to kill him right then and there.
Yeah, he held a lot of restraint.
He
And
held back.
He held back. I was like, he could have shot him right there at the table. I'm like, that is crazy.
Can we talk about his bodyguard for a second?
Oh my God, I was just gonna say that.
That man. I'm sorry.
Can I tell you the scene that I was like, oh my God, he is so hot. It was actually the scene when he bursts into Judge Song's house and he just starts beating him up. I was like, oh my God, why are you so hot?
He was plotting on him with the assemblyman and the other lady, right?
That's when I really noticed him. I was like, oh my God, he's so hot.
He's a horrible person. He's a killer. He's corrupt. We know this. I just love the fact that he's so good at his job. If it's one thing that's very attractive in a man is whatever you do in life, do it well.
Yes.
And he's the best bodyguard.
He was a serious
/ killer.
Yeah, he took his job very serious. And that was just hilarious at the same time, the way he just bursted in. But yeah, that's when I was like, oh God, he is actually very hot.
You know what scene that I was like, oh, this man really, truly is hot? Was when they're surrounded, when the judge and the lady from the gang, the one with the red hair.
Yeah.
When they set him up, remember, it's just him and it's just him and the chairman, and they're driving and they get surrounded by these cars.
My God, yeah.
And he's just like, hold on one second, and just got out, let one shot into the air, and he was like, basically like, what are you guys doing here? Like,
yeah, that scene, I was like, my God.
He was so brave.
He was
like, he's ready to die for
the
chairman.
Think about it, that's literally his job, but yeah.
I know, but still, I would, no. You see, I'm not willing to die for anyone.
But it was hilarious how even the chairman didn't flinch in that situation.
No, he didn't. He stepped out.
Yeah.
He was like, my bodyguard's not just going to be the only person fighting here. He stepped out like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Like, let's go.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can we talk about some of the funny moments that I found funny? I don't know if you did, but
I think I know what you're going to say.
When Judge Song is talking to the prosecutor and she's talking to him and he says, are you interrogating me? And she says, yes. And he was like, that's rude. I literally cackled. I was like,
he's like,
what?
The audacity. He was like, I'm a judge, right?
I found that so hilarious. Oh, I don't know why I didn't.
Okay. No, that wasn't the same one, but that was pretty good. Because she was like, yeah, I'm interrogating you as a prosecutor. He's like, that's rude. But yeah, that was a good part. Okay, I don't know if you caught this, but the nicest person on the show was the poor little daughter.
She was.
Okay, but can I tell you, she just kept catching random strays. So the first time that kind of made me like pay attention was when she's first getting to know the judge's son.
Yeah.
And her mom catches her like at the mall. I think they're in like a food court situation, and the girl goes to the bathroom, so she rolls up on the judge's son, and she was like, oh, so you're like, talking to my daughter? She's like, well, I just want you to know that she might appear grown, but she has the mind of a 10-year-old. I was like, damn, did she just call her daughter like slow? Like I like she's stupid, and I'm thinking, is something wrong with the kid now? Like, is she mentally
what I took away from that was like she's on the spectrum.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I took away from it.
That's what I thought too. Or like she's had a very sheltered life. She's very naive. She doesn't know anything, but more so like maybe she has a legit mental illness and is actually slower, or like, her brain's like underdeveloped. I don't know. But at least the mom, you could figure out how she was trying to say it. But then I was like, okay, that's just randomly like, she's kind of slow, or she has the mind of a 10-year-old. But then the final episode where she invites him to dinner before things pop off, and the sociopath brother is sitting there.
Sang-hyuk, yeah.
And then he's like asking the boyfriend before everything explodes, and he was like, so what do you like about my sister? Like, don't you find her frustratingly slow when she talks? And I was like,
oh my God. That was hilarious.
Why do they keep like going at this little girl? And
I don't know, like, because they love each other. Actually, they have a great relationship. That's the crazy part.
That was very mean.
That was
to
mean.
Say like, don't you find her frustrating how slow she talks?
Yeah,
I'm like, they're very fucking mean.
But can we also talk about again, Chairman Kim? Even when he found out that it was him, for the sake of his daughter and how much she loved Ho Young, he still wanted him to see her.
And because he was disgusted with his son for raping and hurting that woman, he was kind of thinking he was about to let him go. I really feel like the chairman was about to let him go because his son freed up.
Yeah.
He was not in prison. And I think he was just going to let the judge and his son go and kind of just say, you know what, like, they lost someone, we've lost someone. Like, I think he was willing to call it even at this point.
Yeah. No, 100%.
But then the prosecutor had to come in and fuck it up.
Yeah. And can we talk about, like, I agreed with that guilty verdict, because I was looking outside the box, you know, where Ho Young was like, all he was thinking about was like, oh, I gotta avenge my mom. Whereas in Judge Song was thinking, you don't understand. If I'm doing this to save you, like that. We going back to that scene when he said, yes, I know you want to avenge your mom, but I want to worry about the people that are still living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what Ho Young was not getting.
I think he was deeply depressed.
He was.
So he's willing to do anything, really. Like, he was consumed.
He was.
And you kind of see the judge kind of like admitting that towards the end.
Yeah.
When he was kind of, you know, thinking back on not seeing and realizing how hard like his son was suffering.
Yeah. But imagine Judge Song working so hard and not knowing this kid is just working in the background, doing the entire most. And it's like, oh my God, like, you have no idea what this man is doing for you. And you're just taking matters into your own hands. Like, you know?
And the judge wouldn't believe it. He asked him several times. He's like, did you do this on purpose? He was in deep denial.
Would you believe it? Would you believe it? I would never think Ho Young would be capable of that. Even Chairman Kim was shocked that he was capable of that, because when you look at
that
him,
meek little kid,
exactly,
he's like that little weakling.
Yeah,
is doing the most.
I was shocked as well when I found out that he was plotting and doing all these things. So yeah, I get it.
But if I was the judge, though, the minute that the cop lady told him he's been planning it for 6 months, I would believe her. At that point, he did start to believe her.
Yeah. Because at first, when she said that, I thought that she was just using that as a way to blackmail him.
Until we saw, like...
Until we seen it.
All the evidence and the receipts, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, can we talk about that detective getting killed? Can we talk about when he was sitting with her and he said, I hope I'll be able to see you another day. Mm-hmm. And that's when I knew she was gone. She was never going to be seen again.
Exactly. When he went for that fake, like, little smoke break, and he's like...
But I don't even think he thought that it was going to go to that extent. Obviously, he broke down.
He did. No, he did.
Oh, you think so?
Remember when she told him everything, he was like, he made that call, and he was like, I'm trying to give a non-guilty verdict, but she has information now. She's blackmailing me, and at the end of the day, I'm going to do whatever it takes to protect my son. She's getting in my way.
Yeah, but then the way he broke down when they told him,
the whole situation made him break down. I think so. He gave the verdict. He was like, he did something he didn't want to do. Yeah. And the confirmation that, I think it just, everything added up for him. And at that moment, it was just like,
everything hitting him
over. It just hit him all at once.
Yeah.
But I knew he knew she was dead.
And imagine, he did all of that only for it to end the way it did.
I know.
Like,
and can we talk about how the prosecutor is just as bad as the judge? Because how dare you tell the mother, fully knowing that they were going to go after the judge's son?
Yeah.
I'm like, you're just as bad.
Yeah, because she felt like, oh, we can't take down Chairman Kim. I don't care. It was very spiteful, very, you know.
She's mad at the judge for being blackmailed and was like, well, you were trying to save your son? Well, not on my watch.
Yeah. And I was not expecting the wife to be the one that actually took him out.
From when she was on the phone?
Yeah, obviously that, yeah, I
we're
knew
like,
then.
She's going to come back in and shoot him up.
Yeah.
But I thought at least he would get to kill the sociopath.
Yeah. And the way, again, the hot bodyguard swooping in, taking the gun. I just loved it. He does everything with confidence. I love that man.
I'm not stuttering when he was in the interrogation room, and he was just like, he pulled out a gun, tried to hurt the chairman. I had to shoot him.
That's because that's my job.
That's my job.
Yeah.
End of story. He's like,
literally,
don't know what else to say here.
Yeah.
Can we keep it like?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I loved it. It was also very sad, but I also believe that Ho Young was doing entirely too much, and he kind of met his fate.
He really did. And, again,
and I don't think he really cared. I think he was willing to. I think he knew he was going to get out of that situation alive.
He didn't care if he was going to die, but in the beginning, didn't he say he even like?
I wish I wasn't here.
Didn't he actually try to commit suicide?
No, his daughter did.
No, not the daughter. I'm pretty sure the judge's son in the beginning, at some point after his mom had passed away, he tried to kill himself.
Oh,
and his dad was like, don't ever do that. Like, it's worth living. Like, I can't live without you. I'm pretty sure like he tried to kill himself at some point.
Yep.
So that's why I feel like when that attempt failed, is when he started plotting.
Yeah. And like I said, once he got in that room, I don't think he was going to he knew he was going to leave alive, right? Yeah. So, but all in all, I really, really enjoyed it from the beginning till the end. great watch. I will continue to watch this genre now.
Right?
I was thoroughly entertained.
It's better than like the usual rom-coms. Like I love this genre, so I'm happy that you finally watched a drama that you're like, I can
Yeah,
get
it's good to switch it
behind.
up now, sometimes, like,
Right? It gave us everything, honestly. It was intense from the beginning. Like I've absolutely like no notes here. Like I was into it like every single episode. Like there wasn't a single scene that I wanted to pass or fast forward through, but it was all very good.
100%. Loved it. I think everyone should go and watch it. Yeah, it was amazing. Well, that's our show. If you enjoyed our talk about Your Honor, please rate and subscribe.
We would love to know what you think about Your Honor. Follow us on TikTok at Ktalk Pod.
Also, please join us every Wednesday for new episodes. Bye.
Bye.